pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. I'm going to open up to nominating a chairperson.
I nominate Dave Fisher.
All right. So Daniel Black nominates Dave Fisher. Hal seconds. Do we have any discussion about it?
I'm willing to do it, but I am going to be traveling some. I'm definitely out, I know already, for the month of February. So I just want everybody to be aware of that.
Yeah, that's fine, as long as we have a vice chair. That's where the vice chair is supposed to step up, and I've read a lot on this.
Good.
It's kind of a,
Good.
yeah, because I was like, holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah, since Paul's not around anymore, we need
Yeah.
somebody.
Yes, it scared me when Paul left and then Elizabeth left right after. That was pretty nerve-wracking.
Right.
So, is there any more nominations?
For the chair?
Yes, for the chair. All right, no more nominations for the chair. You are now the chairperson.
All right. Here we go.
Yep.
You want to take your seat?
I don't
I mean, you can have it.
That's a hot seat. I'll stay over here for a little while. So it's my meeting now.
Now you'll do the vice chair.
Okay, so I would entertain nominations for vice chair. Can I make a nomination?
Yes.
Can I nominate Hal Eggers?
I second it.
Anybody else?
See how this ball bounces.
Any other nominations? Okay, all in favor of Hal, say aye.
Aye.
Against, say nay. Okay,
I heard a cricket.
All right. Outstanding. Vice chair.
vice chair.
All right. That's pretty much that.
Didn't print an agenda. Did you print agendas?
No, I didn't. I sent them out.
Yeah, I know you did. I just
But then, so I don't know if all of you were watching the commission meeting happen Monday.
Yeah.
For those of you that did not, they, the tower thing is basically got approved. The 100-foot rule with the 110% fall, for the 110% from the easement passed, so we do not have to discuss the tower. Really, the only thing on the agenda is battery energy storage for this month.
Okay, we do need to approve the minute.
Oh, yes, that too.
So, any discussion on the minutes, or I guess I would entertain a nomination to approve the minutes.
There's several typos in them.
Yeah.
Linn County spelled wrong. I don't know what motion to pass the pot split vote is, but sorry.
One of the things I noticed is Ed Anderson is mentioned in there.
Ed wasn't here.
Pretty sure he wasn't here. So there's a comment from Ed Anderson that's from somebody else. I'm not sure who it's from.
Okay.
So we
I'll have to go back and do that. Yep.
And then the other thing is, I think it's probably a good idea to list who is present and who is not present.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight we got everybody. 4 unfilled chairs.
Okay, so that will just get tabled till next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. I will do that. And then with that, the county clerk just got a new software to help with doing minutes.
Good.
So it should make things a lot easier. I just need to do better about making sure people state their names when they come up or when they're talking. So that way it's, yeah. So I have a better game plan going forward. So I'm glad.
That's a pretty good shot at it.
Mhm.
You're pretty detailed in there.
There was a lot of YouTube helped out, but having an actual program for it will help out a lot more.
I'll point out Gary Minghon, I don't know what road he lives on, but I don't know that we have an Holly Road.
Olery.
Yeah.
It was
Is it?
It says,
Oh,
yeah.
Does
It
they
says
all?
OLY.
It's
Oh.
ULLE.
That's probably because that's what the
Right,
YouTube came out as, and I was like, well, that's probably what it is. I don't know.
right below that one, Linn County spelled LYNN.
That's probably because of YouTube. Yep, I missed that one. Okay.
Yeah, it's Olery.
Yeah,
ER.
that road that's by the lake. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Oh,
Anything else on the minutes? So we'll table those until next week or next meeting. So what do you want to get done on?
Basically, I sent out sort of a rough draft, a very rough draft of battery energy storage. Is if anyone has any questions, comments, anything they want to add to it or take away or make sure that we have, if there's any questions, I can try to answer questions. If not, Jessica, Jenny, I have someone here that is sort of contracted to help with another company, but she's very knowledgeable on these, on the energy storage systems that if I can't answer, she should have an answer.
So walk us through, Ben, what, first of all, we've got to edit this, come and interject our own ideas. But once we get that done, what's the next step?
That we approve the codes, once we have a good, comfortable on the codes, that we put it into our regulations. And then once we have it into our regulations, then companies can approach us with.
Okay, so we approve it.
Mhm.
Don't we have to go to a public hearing after that?
What's, well, yes.
So we approve it, go to public hearing.
Yep. There'll be an appeal process on that. And that's it.
Then we come back, we change it or not change it based on what we hear from the public,
Mm-hmm.
approve it again, and then send it to the commissioners. Commissioners vote.
Yes.
Okay. And how much, what's the notice that we have to give on the public hearings? Is it like anything else?
20 days. Yep.
20 days?
Yes.
Is that how everybody else understands it?
It's 20 days and then a 14-day, if it's approved, a 14-day waiting period.
Yes.
Great.
From the commissioners. Yes. Is that?
I think we need to go through what all you typed up. And then
Okay.
as we go down through it, if there's something in there that we think does not fit the criteria of our zoning regulations or the criteria of our comprehensive plan, then we should make changes to it as we go.
Okay.
Well, that way you know, we might not get through it completely tonight, but we can go from line to line and paragraph to paragraph and see if everybody understands it and keep going down the line until we're done.
I agree. I don't know that we can get through all that tonight, but we certainly get a good start at it.
Sorry. You can put it up there.
This-
The buses don't have.
Does everybody have that on their computer?
Yeah, I'm wondering if, can you print a few copies for that to help us go through that?
Yes.
And we can either
That would help me. I tried to print it, my printer shut right on me.
scratch them or highlight or something.
Yep. Let me go. I'll go print this off real quick. How many copies do we need?
I'd like one.
I'd like one. Computer. Straight from work. I don't take the computer with me. I'm trying to get it to hook up on my phone, but I can't get it.
Yeah.
on my phone.
Did you get in the right one? Got all that stuff wrote down?
Yeah.
Anybody heard if any of the other seats are gonna be filled?
There's a guy from my district that wants on, but he's contacted Jason. That's all I know.
It's a big commitment. Did you guys understand the different tiers of the best?
I mean, I understand there's different tiers, I'm not sure.
Did you get you probably didn't get that other one that he had made out that told about the different tiers? You guys see that?
I don't know because I can't get my email now, so.
Oh,
We'll put page numbers on it, so that way printing it off will be easier.
Okay.
gotcha.
Is there any questions though, like right off the bat that I can answer since she needs my computer to
Well,
print it off?
why don't you explain everybody about the different tiers of the best?
So that is basically the size. The different tiers is the different sizes of energy that it can store. So your first tier is your lowest energy. It's not a real big size. It's not going to take up a big footprint. That would normally be something that you would see in a residential area for just kind of small
solar.
It's small little thing. And then the second tier, from my understanding, is more common. That is bigger, and that would be the multiple shipping container sizes. That it'll hold that much energy. It's basically the amount of energy it can store. And then the third tier is, from my understanding, not very common. From what I've talked to the other planning and zoning director, is that's the big. It's big.
It's big.
It's
But
big.
It's greater than 600.
Kilowatt or
Kilowatt.
yeah, kilowatts.
Tier 2 is 81 to 600, and Tier 1's 80.
Yes. Yeah, I don't have the numbers off memorized, but yes, it's
The kind of the way I understood it, the Tier 2 would be like your car batteries or fork truck battery and stuff like that. The way I understood it, and Tier 3 was the container stuff. if
Mhm.
I understood that correct.
Yes, that'll be the container. That's if you were able to pull up the picture, that would be the shipping containers I'm referencing.
That's tier three? Two,
2 and 3.
two and three?
Yes.
Right. But a tier 3 goes greater than 600 kWh. So a lot of them are a megawatt when they're on an industrial size. They're over a megawatt. So it takes 1,000 kilowatt hour to make a megawatt. So if they're going to put something in, it's going to be more than that.
Okay. Yeah.
It's gonna be more than two?
More than a megawatt.
Okay.
I mean, your wind,
So-
your wind turbines are 2
So
megawatts.
you're saying that the typical storage systems are two?
I think so. From my understanding, I could be wrong though. Now that we're talking about it. Thanks.
Did you get that Wi-Fi?
So the person, the IT guy, said that the Wi-Fi is 24/7 for the ones that should be hooked up to your computer. So you're not using the.
No, but I'm on it till about 7, then it kicks me off.
Yep. Yep.
So that's not doable.
Yeah, I was using that old one that you had that I can't find it now.
Oh. Yeah.
The one that came from Linn County and Allen County.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. So. Tier 1 battery. How big? Yeah. How big are they? How big is the one? How many kilowatts is the one that's being proposed? Oh, please, just so I have it for my.
So typically, commercial scale projects are 100+ megawatt hours.
Okay.
So
So it would be.
if I understand right, it would be in your tier 3.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. And 100, at this point, 100 megawatts would be on the probably smaller side of the commercial size projects.
Okay.
How many containers does it take to get 1 megawatt?
Well, it would depend on the battery type. So it's not a universal.
You got a
Line.
guess? You got a guess?
If I remember correctly, it's around 10, but I can check and get back with Ben on that,
Okay.
on a typical scale, if you would like.
Since we can't really see one,
Yeah,
we, you know.
yeah, I understand, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so on the first paragraph, 14-101, I think you probably ought to state in there that the purpose of the regulations is to apply to all tier 2 and tier 3.
Well, this is the one that you had for, yeah, this is the one that you had for, that's got Linn County in it.
Yeah.
It's not the one you wrote.
I might have missed that one, but this is. Yep, right there. I see it.
Yeah.
Yep. So I stole.
This is the first one you wrote, not the second one you wrote.
Oh, this is the.
This is the final one? The one
No.
I read earlier was,
Did you have a different one?
yeah,
Yeah.
the Linn County, Kansas draft best ordinance.
That is not, that is a AI generated one that there was not enough information I felt that was in that one.
Okay.
Is that the one Paul put together?
That's the one
Okay,
Paul
that's
put together.
Okay. All right.
And then I read that one, and that one was just kind of an idea, and it just did not have as much information.
This is the one I studied today.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So Lane County needs to come out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Linn County.
I just
Linn County, yeah.
I just fixed that one, and it also said Allen County in here too. So, yep.
So my suggestion is you specifically say the regulations are to apply to all tier 2 and tier 3 commercial BESS installations. So you're making it clear that we're not addressing tier 1.
Okay.
Apply to tier 2 and 3.
Regulations.
Apply to all tier.
Purpose of the regulations is to apply to all tier 2 and tier 3 commercial utility scale BESS.
Yeah.
And so the Linn County after the. Okay. All right. Yep. That's in there.
Okay.
I've got a few changes on the intent.
Okay.
I can email these to you, but what I suggest is something to the effect of informed by the comprehensive plan. We put the date in there for the comprehensive plan. Vision to protect the natural beauty and open space and make our county special. To support a strong, resilient, and diversified local economy. These standards guide responsible BESS development that minimizes environmental and agriculture impacts and preserves rural character, supports economic diversification through clean energy goals. Not scratch clean energy goals, just supports economic diversification. So that way we're stating that we're supporting the comprehensive plan. And one of the important parts of our comprehensive plan is to protect natural beauty and open space. And we're stating that right in the intent.
Also, the health, safety, and welfare of the people in the county. That's also in the comprehensive plan. That probably should be stated.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
I can send that to you. You can reword it how you wish.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. To include the comprehensive plan, I kind of added some of those things. I just didn't state that it was part of the comprehensive plan, but that makes sense that we need to have the comprehensive plan tied into this and that we need to be pulling from it. That makes sense. Definitions. And the definitions were just pulled from different regulations that I found, trying to cover everything that was used, that anyone might have questions on. And then a lot of this information was pulled from our solar regulations that the county paid to have wrote up.
On the applicability, section C, number 3, it's tier 1 battery energy storage system. So I mean, that needs to be taken out of there because we're not messing with them, correct? Yes.
Say that again.
On
Where's it at?
section C,
Section
of-
C.
14101, section C, line item 3, tier 1 battery energy storage system has an aggregate energy capacity less than or equal to 80 kilowatts, and if in a room or enclosed area consists of only a single energy storage system technology, all tier 1 battery energy storage systems located on residential properties shall comply with all applicable codes, building, fire, property, etc., as may be currently in effect and hereafter amended in Linn County, Kansas instead of Allen County.
Yes.
But I don't know if we need to tier 1 in, if this is gonna be the criteria for just tier 2 and tier 3.
Well, is there really any reason to take it out?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, well, that's the way I understood it. We don't really know what it's gonna be yet, do we?
But yeah, so I was trying to just cater it to anyone coming in. That it could be the wave of the future that someone could come in and try to put it just outside of town to try to tie in to town, basically. It's the way I was trying to cater it to instead of just to one to the big and to the industrial one.
I guess the question is, do we want to write regulations for all three? Or do we want to just say tier 1 is
Tier
applicable
1
to-
is residential, I think, or I guess it could be, it could be for this building or that building or anywhere else. I mean, if you got a solar panel on top of this building, it would probably be a tier 1 battery system that they would be charging from it to, you know, a lot of homes got the chargers in them, you know, from their solar panels. I know that Steve Donnelly does. He's got a battery storage system, his, so.
So
like
I guess,
battery.
yeah, so I guess what I'm saying is, do we need regulations for the tier 1?
I don't think any more than's wrote right there.
What's that gonna do? I mean, if we adopt regulations and somebody that's already got a solar panel on their house.
I think they'd be grandfathered in. Is my thinking on that. Would they not be grandfathered in if they already got a tier 1 in their home already?
My question is, do we want to regulate the smaller? Do
One minute.
we want to?
I don't think we have on the solar, on the small.
No, we have, that's fine, we haven't, but do we want to? Do we need to?
And then everybody would have to file if they wanted to put one at their house.
Really, that's what I'm saying, so we're making it more complicated for somebody that wants to
Build a new home, yeah,
put in a tier 1,
right.
meet regulations.
And I think we got away from that, completely away from that because of the solar panels, so having like 20 solar panels out in the front yard or something. I think we completely got away from that and just went for the industrial. I mean, as far as regulations for the industrial.
That's what I'm asking. And I would suggest we don't want to regulate the smaller systems to make it complicated for the homeowner to be able to put those.
Well, I would definitely agree with that, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we want to have anything for homes. We'd have no building codes here in the county anyway. So,
So go ahead and strike that one from there because we don't need to worry.
Yeah, so if we're just addressing 2 and 3, then if we're just addressing tier 2 and 3, then paragraph C, line 3, that can all be eliminated.
right, that's what I thought. I mean, if we're not gonna write regulations for it, then there's no reason to have it in there.
And I think you're right, Hal, that's consistent with what we did for solar.
It is. Yeah.
Anybody else have thoughts on that?
I like the idea of striking it out.
Okay. Got that, Ben?
Yes. So then I will get rid of, it also mentions it down a little ways, tier 1 under domestic best, the 24301A, it mentions it there. So I will remove it from there as well.
Okay, we ready for section 24.2?
The definitions. Oh, also I have it in 24302 have the pretty much limitations on it there. So I'll get rid of that there too.
What'd you say, Ben? You said which
24-302. I think that was the last place that it was mentioned, just off size of
Okay,
where the limitations of it are.
okay. That was for setbacks and property.
Yeah, setbacks and
Right.
what else?
Right.
Different
Right.
heights and whatnot. Yeah, we can go back up to the definitions, the 24.2.
Line L.
Yes, the UL 9540.
Line L. It has Saline County, Kansas in it. Needs to come be Linn County.
Kansas, not Kansas.
Yeah.
Back when the Native Americans lived here.
And M. It's got Saline County, Kansas. Any system built in Saline County, Kansas. Should be Linn County, Kansas.
So are we good with going to 24,301?
I think I am.
Okay,
We may come up with some more
yeah, that's,
of the definitions
okay.
later.
Yep, that's fine. Well, make sure for that we are good with that.
Yeah, there we
Basically, that they need
There
in any zoning that they're going to need a cup is basically what we're doing with that.
Well, the domestic BES. You've got 1403 as a domestic BES.
Yeah.
14, where's it, where are you now?
Page
24, 3.
Page 5.
14-3,
It's up the top corner.
domestic.
Okay,
It said domestic BES. Should that be changed to industrial, commercial, or industrial?
Okay. Yep.
So do we want to delete A?
Yes. I deleted that. Yep.
Okay,
For the tier 1, I deleted that. So
Okay.
it just goes right into the tier 2 and 3 battery energy storage system.
okay.
Permit area under.
So the tier 2 and 3 battery energy storage systems shall be permitted in the following zoning districts, subject to the zoning code and site plan review, which may be waived at the discretion of the planning and zoning board. I believe that residential needs to be scratched from that,
I agree.
and the countryside. I think the only two places that they should be on the best would be agriculture and heavy industrial. 1-2 heavy industrial. I don't know what anybody else thinks about that, but I don't think you want them to have set up a tier 2 or tier 3 project in a residential area.
right.
That makes sense because anything that we will deal with as a county that's residential will be less than 3 acres. So yeah, that makes sense to remove that. But countryside can be
Right,
a little bit bigger.
right.
We can eliminate that because of setbacks if that's what you all would like. I don't have a problem with that. It's
So-
up to you. I'm just letting you know that countryside is usually anywhere from 10 to 3 acres.
Right.
And they could potentially do that. It wouldn't be very big,
On
but they
tier
could
2,
do it.
on a tier 2 possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, they could do it. I mean, but if you all just would like them to not, to where if it's zone countryside, they cannot do it. That is,
How much countryside do we have?
we actually have quite a bit.
Do we have some actually quoted as countryside? I have never seen that.
So as I'm getting into it more and more, I'm figuring this out. But yes, we do have quite a bit. There's quite a bit of people that are sort of sectioning off little bits of land here and there, and it's being rezoned as countryside.
Okay. So where residential was, then we should put in heavy industrial.
We can replace it with industrial. Do you want
1-2 heavy
okay,
industrial.
1-2?
No, I would say countryside could be tier 2 only.
Could be what?
Tier 2 only. Couldn't be tier 3. On that countryside.
I think
Yeah,
for
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I don't have a grasp for how big that's gonna be. I mean,
Well,
I'm for restricting it.
She's saying in order to make a megawatt, you need 10 containers. And I think the containers are approximately 25 feet apart, if I understand that right. She's going to tell us.
So typically one container would be 2 to 5 megawatts is what,
One container,
one container, correct?
one container.
One
two to-
container, 2 to 5 megawatts.
Holy moly.
Yep.
And what's the size on those?
Yes, it's about that.
I mean, it's a typical shipping container, so it'd
Okay.
be,
Shipping container.
yeah,
Was it a 40 foot or a 20 foot? Or?
it'd be closer to the 40 feet. Yeah.
Wow, 8 by 40.
Wow.
So you could put, now, them containers, do they have to have water going to them to cool them down?
I mean, again, it's going to depend on the technology on how they're cooled. So not necessarily, no.
But they can be.
They can.
So that's something we have to take into consideration, water supply and stuff, if that pipe was put there.
Yeah, I don't think it's typical though.
Okay.
No, so who I've talked to that has talked to me that knows a little bit about this is that they usually use some sort of cooling chemical. It's not like an antifreeze,
It's not yeah.
but it's some sort of
Free.
kind of chemical that helps keep everything cool and that it runs through the system. But yeah, it's usually not water just because water can't keep up.
I would like to know what the name of that chemical is.
I think it depends on the different technology. Different batteries use different kind of
Right.
cooling technology.
You got lithium, you got different types of batteries.
And so later down in here, it does, I don't remember exactly what section, but it does specify that we do require the data sheet, the material data sheet.
Sure.
We require that to have that on hand and it be posted on the gate at the entry, at the main entry.
Okay.
Any chemicals that are in there is that it has to be posted on the gate.
Posted for our EMS people.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes, that will be, that is
By
in here.
Emergency medical, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
then, I think that's it. And then also with that,
So you,
for the cup, when someone brings this to us for the cup, that we can put into the cup, that we have that company work with our local first responders
Yes.
to handle whatever chemicals they are going to be on site.
right.
Because some of these things you just can't put them out. Like some of these things will just burn in place.
So countryside property would be big enough to put one tier two or two tier twos.
Yes, that with the setbacks and everything else, with the fencing and everything else, that if they had,
It would still have to be fenced and
mm-hmm, yep.
bermed and ditch dug around it and a whole 9 yards.
that they could potentially put a small one there. And I'm just letting you all know that.
So I'm trying to get my head wrapped around how big these are. I'm doing some searches. What I'm finding is that each container is 2 to 5 megawatt per container.
Okay,
Is that?
That's what she
is
just
that
said.
what you said?
that's
Okay,
what she just said.
So tier one, we're at less than 80 kilowatts.
Right.
And so I just did
That'd
some,
be a tier three.
I just
That'd be a
did,
tier three because
So
you're doing megawatts.
yeah, so what's the difference?
It's greater than 600 kilowatts.
Megawatt hour.
It's tier three is greater than 600 milliwatts. So one container is
Bigger.
tier three. One container is a tier three.
Okay,
Anything above 600 kilowatts is a tier three or industrial.
this is saying megawatts.
Megawatts. Yeah, that's 1,000 kilowatts.
Yep. So the tier one being what it was regulating was anything under 80, and a normal home, I believe, is 10 to 20. So that's why we're kind of eliminating that. As my understanding is that, a decent sized commercial building could maybe run off of a 30 to 40, but if that's their business, that's their business, what I'm gathering from the board. So then we're moving up to the tier two. So tier two could potentially be placed for if somebody wanted to open up like a trailer park or whatever, a manufactured home area or tiny home area. They could initially open up one of these battery energy storage systems and have it there on site for, as like a backup power is sort of is kind of what we're moving to. It's kind of like a generator without
Tier 2 would be
gas.
like a charging station for
Mhm.
Tesla or something like that to charge batteries.
That'd be tier one.
That'd be a tier 1.
Yeah.
If you've
Just
got
for
a whole
one,
bunch of
for
them.
one.
No, I'm talking about.
Oh, like multiple.
Charging
Yep.
station.
Yeah.
Okay, then yes. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that'd be like a tier 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. Like, if someone wanted to open up something kind of new age, trendy, that's what they would do.
Okay.
And then yes, so the tier 3 is, from my understanding, is for really big. So that would be them pulling from a power source like the power plant, and then whenever the grid can't support it, like whenever we have like Heartland has the high usage days, that's when the battery energy storage system would supply power back onto the grid. And that's why it's going to be so big, is because it's putting power back onto the grid.
Right.
That is
I think
pretty substantial.
before we make a decision on tier 2, we need to actually know what a tier 2 for sure
Okay.
is.
Have examples. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Have an
Right.
example, a
Right.
visual aid or
Right.
something that we can actually look at.
Okay.
Yeah, before we make that final decision if countryside needs to be left in there or not.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. I don't want anybody.
I agree with you.
So just moving from that, I took out public use because we're not going to it doesn't fit with the comprehensive plan, from my understanding, is to put a battery energy storage system on public use land.
No.
So I took that out.
So scratch public use.
Yes. So what I have here is 1 is agricultural, number 2 is industrial, 1 and 2 heavy, countryside, and commercial.
Yeah. Until we find out what the tier 2 is.
Yep. Okay.
And we won't know the setbacks now on B, tier 2 peaking, until we know what a tier 2 is
Yeah.
on the setbacks and
Okay.
everything else.
So then, so moving to 24302A, tier 2 peak shaving vests. That we can wait on that one,
Right.
unless someone, like that can be adjusted. These numbers are, I think I saw 2 different ones, and these were kind of just in the middle of those 2
Okay.
from different counties.
So I'm just gonna write hold on this till
Okay,
next
yep.
meeting.
Okay. And then if anyone comes up with anything, you can email me, and then I can make adjustments and then email it back out to everyone as I get adjustments and make adjustments to it. I'll start putting revision number 1, revision number 2 sort of thing on there, so that way we can sort of be up to date on which revision we're working off of. Yep. So then that moves us into 24 for conditions required for
We need to go to
approval.
the Tier 3. Tier 3.
Oh, you want to talk to, okay,
Yeah.
yep.
On tier 3, I think line item 1, instead of 200 feet, needs to be 500 feet. That's just my personal opinion. C, the line item 2, the dwelling setback should be 1,000 feet. 5, agriculture operation setback should be 500 feet. And from an environmental sensitive area, also 500 feet. That's just my personal opinion.
Why? Where are you coming up with it?
Well, that goes back to what we had when we made the solar regulations. Some of them setbacks were equivalent to that. So, I mean, if they're gonna do one of these best programs, it's gonna be lots and lots of containers. It's not gonna be 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. It's gonna be up there in numbers. It's my guess.
The property line setback to 500 feet. So the setback is where they will put their fence. That will be their initial fence. That's not a shipping container. Does that make sense? Does that change anything? Just so I want to make sure you all know that
Right.
that's not going to be. They're not going to put
Right.
a container at 200
So they're
feet.
gonna put their fencing at the property line.
No, they will put it at the setback. They
You're
can't put
saying,
it.
you're saying the fencing will be, under your proposal, the fencing will be 200 feet from the property line?
Yes, they will have to put it
Why-
because of easements.
Why is that?
Why is that?
Because of easements. Because they can't put. No one can put anything on the property line.
Why? We build
Because of
fences all the time on property lines.
You're not supposed to.
Huh?
Because of easements. Any fence has to be. We have to have right of ways and easements off of that.
All of our pastures are fenced.
Okay, for that, yes.
Yeah.
For that. But if you are doing a commercial or something industrial, you will not be able to put your fence on the property line. There has to be setbacks.
I wasn't talking about the setbacks of the fence. I was talking
Okay.
about the setbacks from the container.
That will be they will have there I think it's later on, but there is setbacks from the fence. From the
That
fence
needs to
to
be-
the
That needs to be clarified
Okay.
then in this, that the setback is from fence line, not container line.
Okay.
The operational best containers need to be 500 feet from a non-participating landowner. Is what that was my.
That's what he
thinking.
describes.
Yeah, you were thinking container.
Yeah,
Have
I was
to
thinking,
contain.
yeah, I was actually thinking the best container that, needs to be 500 feet from the non-participating landowner. Or road frontage. So I think that kind of needs to be reworded so it's clarified in there that the setback, what the setback means. Same thing with the dwelling. My figures was 1,000 feet from a container to a dwelling. Not the fence. Does that make sense?
yeah. That you're
We're
talking
what we're doing,
about
We're trying to protect the non-participating landowner,
mm-hmm.
of them not setting one right on his fence line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the
Setbacks should be from the operational. I
mhm.
mean, that's the way we've always, on all the other regulations that we were writing, that was from property lines
Okay.
to the equipment.
To the equipment. Okay.
I just skimmed through. I didn't see where it said any feet from the fence where it is.
Yeah. So it's lawyeristic. Requires the federal
Incorporated
fence.
safety signage at 500 feet.
So you have the 500 feet. Signage, the fence. Yeah. Okay. Then that must have got removed. So I understand that. So
So
the fence, yeah. So okay. I read a lot of these. So okay.
well, that line item 1, property line setback,
Mm-hmm.
200 feet.
Mm-hmm.
See, that says property line. So you're saying that the 200 feet is the fence?
Like that fence will be 200 feet away.
Man, that needs to be
So
somehow clarified, because to me, that don't make sense.
Well, I don't think that we need to address where the fence is. We need to be from the property line.
okay.
Right.
And then,
Right.
if you want to
Right.
put a rule in there that the fence is gonna be so far off the easement, then
There you
can't.
go. There you go.
Right.
The fence should be.
But
then-
we
then
need,
you
we
can
need to
come back-
establish where they're gonna put it off the property.
Exactly, you're right. And further down the line, when we get into the fencing needs to be so many feet off of the property line. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do it that way, for the easement.
Yeah.
Well, there does need to be regulations for the fence because we are requiring them to have a fence.
Right, 7
So
foot.
we do
right,
need to have
Right,
some sort of requirement for the fence.
so
Okay.
so,
So in my opinion, I think that whoever's putting it in would want the fence as close to the property line as they could, because they don't want anybody on their property, period.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to give them 200 feet of easement there before they
no.
keep them off. I mean, that doesn't,
That's right, isn't it?
I mean, if I was the leasee or the leaser, that 200 feet is dead area.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, as far as that goes, they could put the chain link fence 25 feet off of the property line and still be safe, right?
Yeah, or 10.
Or 10, just enough to get a tractor down through there and mow the edges of it.
Okay.
And that can be addressed when you go down to the fencing stuff. But all these setbacks needs to be from property line to operational facility, or the operations of
The
it,
non-participant property.
from a non-participant, right?
What about public roads? We have-
I think it needs to be 500 feet from a public road.
That's 500 also.
Right. The only thing that I had in 1,000 feet was from a dwelling.
Or what was your environmentally sensitive area? Was it 500? Or,
Yeah,
okay. And then agricultural operation setback,
500.
What are we calling an environmental sensitive area?
Well,
A pond,
lagoon.
a wash where drainage ditch where it would run off. That's what I would consider it.
a steep sloped area,
Yeah.
that'd be an environmental sensitive area.
Floodplains. That's what I would think of.
A definition is locations where plants or animal life or their habitats are particularly vulnerable due to their rarity or ecological role and area easily disturbed by human activity. Like woodlands, floodplains, ecosystems, habitats. That sort of thing is what this is talking about. Just an idea. think we do have some in Linn County.
More than a few floodplains.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a few.
It'd be like the game refuge or something like that. 'Cause I think that's addressed further down.
I think the setbacks that Hal's suggesting are a good start, but I'd still like to leave that open to do a little more research on it.
Okay. That's, yeah, okay.
I
I will
think
make,
It's a good start. I think the idea of setbacks are to the equipment.
Yes.
okay,
is
setback.
what we're all after.
Yeah, fences can be wherever.
Okay. Well, we do need to, that'll be later on, I guess, that we do need to talk about fence setbacks.
So the height limit, this is all green cheese to me, but
I don't know if,
does it have, 25 feet seems kind of high.
well,
Do you have any suggestions on height limit?
they don't double stack them, do they?
Nope, all of them will just be one shipping container high.
So how tall is a shipping container?
Well, they're anywhere from 8 to 10 feet.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I
why are we,
think-
why,
And
They may elevate them off the ground in this sense.
For air? I don't know. Do they elevate them off the ground?
I mean, they may put them on like, but the piles would be
Short distance.
short, yeah.
It's not somebody could stand on it. Right, okay. Let's say, so you could drop that down to 15 feet. If you wanted to.
Okay. The main reason that it is in there is just so people don't get crazy with it and start building buildings in there.
Sure.
But also is for
Well, the 20,
not whatever. So that like for looking at it from the street, it's not just adding to the skyline basically.
I don't think even a building like an office, if they had an office building in that, within the facility there, I don't think it'd even be 25
No,
feet.
most of from the pictures I've seen is that they basically just build like an area out of another shipping container, so it looks like everything else. So walking onto the site,
An office is a sea container.
it will look like
With an air conditioner in it.
Mhm.
Yeah, we used to use it on job sites like that.
Yes, it depends on the company. So
yeah. Okay.
There's one office and others will lease an office from an existing town that's close by.
Okay.
But
Could be a
Yeah.
trailer house.
it could be.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I've read.
Temporary construction trailer.
Yeah, that's what I've read for like they will store.
Leave the 25 foot alone now.
you will, why? Why not, if it doesn't need to be 25 feet, why are we making it 25 feet?
Guess we don't.
I mean, we want to limit, just
We
going
want
back
to limit
going
the
back to
visual
the
impact.
comprehensive plan.
Right. We want to limit the visual impact.
Right.
And then
I'm not trying to restrict the business or the sign. If they can do it with a 15-foot or 20-foot limitation, then why make it 25?
I'm good with changing it.
and then if
Make a difference to me. I mean,
in the future, if as the technology evolves, we can always adjust it, or in the cup that we just can amend it. Or put per this one application that is this.
What do you think we need to go down to?
15
Okay, I'm good with that.
on both 2 and 3.
On two and
2's, yeah, 2's,
Can I ask a clarifying question? Are you just talking about containers or are you talking about the entire project? Because
Overall.
entire project.
the project will have a main power transformer and interconnection equipment and all of that type of stuff too, that will be taller
Yeah.
than, there's nothing that we
didn't
could
think
get
of
that would
that.
be shorter than 15
gotta
feet.
So it's almost like a substation. sort of thing.
Essentially,
Yeah.
right.
basically a
Right.
substation.
Right.
Which them
Yeah.
are tall.
Yep.
Okay.
How tall?
That would be
Probably 20 to 30, I would guess, feet.
I'd say maybe even taller than.
It could be, it would depend on the
Been by them
equipment.
substations before, seen them.
Sure.
Yeah.
So can we put something in there that limits the containers at a certain height?
Can,
So
yeah.
no?
That the actual battery holding storage is this height, and then outside of that can be this height in one location, sort of
Right.
thing. Yep.
Yeah.
That
can't be
makes sense?
15-foot height limitation
On the actual housing of the batteries.
on battery
Storage. This is like
Storage.
container.
containers.
Yep.
And then an added line in there that 25 max on
Other
transformer
Structures.
transformer station, or
Just say structures.
okay. Yeah. So you'd have another line item in there.
Okay. All right. So we good with that?
Is there any reason we're saying peak shaving under C? Tier 3 peak shaving BESS? Where'd that peak shaving come in? I'm being picky, but
Where do you see that? Sorry.
We're-
page 6,
C.
C.
Page 6. C.
It says C, tier 3 peak savings best. Same, right above your,
Actually, it starts at 24-302. A.
oh yeah.
Is there a reason peak?
Right, peak saving best.
Oh, okay. That's
Saving best.
because that's there.
That's what it's for.
Mm-hmm. So
It's for the
it's called peak shaving, so that way it shaves off a little bit of energy to store energy, and then it sheds energy back on.
I'm with you there. I'm just trying to be consistent. We're not-
Oh, okay.
We're not calling it a peak shaving energy system.
Yep.
We're calling it battery energy storage system.
Mm-hmm.
So let's be,
So that we need to. Yep.
just be
I understand.
consistent.
Yep.
Scratch the peak shaving.
Scratch peak shaving.
So just be a tier 2
Or tier 3 best.
BESS, tier 3 BESS. Okay.
So that needs to be changed on tier 2 too.
Yep.
We didn't address the setbacks on tier 2.
No, I was just taking that had that peak shavings in it too, so.
I thought we were putting a hold on 2 until we.
Oh,
Kind of have a better
We
idea.
just took that peak
so we
shaving.
get an idea what it looks like. You're right. Got it.
We ready for 24.4?
I think so.
The key issues to be considered, I guess I don't quite understand what you mean by that. I mean, is this issues that you have to comply with before you receive a cup?
I do not think so. I think there are just things that are. I'm not sure how to use it, verbalize it. I think it's in there for us, for the board, and for them that these are things that are in our comprehensive plan
Right.
to consider before just approving the cup.
I think
I mean, it's
a
this
visual
is
impact
optional.
study should be done.
An impact study.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, we could remove a lot of this, the key issues to be considered, and just put before bringing it to the zoning board, a impact study needs, or part of the cup requirements for this is a
I think
impact study.
I
Okay.
think it's paperwork they need to hand you, like the wildlife habitat, all that needs to be done, historical, all of them need to be handed to you before they get their CUP.
Yep. Okay.
That makes sense? Or maybe I'm,
That makes perfect sense.
yeah, there needs to be a line item for each one of them that's consideration that they have to meet this criteria in order before they get a conditional use permit.
Okay. So do you want to leave the key issues to be considered, all that in there? Or do you just want that to be part of?
I think, I haven't read them all, but,
I think leave them all in. I've kind of read through all of them.
Okay.
right, all that stuff needs to be handed to you and the planning and zoning committee before a CUP is, from what I'm seeing, impact on the water quality, the soil erosion. I would like to see a soil sample taken of any properties prior to them putting that. I would like a soil sample taken on that complete area. And then when the decommissioning time comes, a repeat soil sample to look for contaminations.
Yeah, without taking one prior, they're never know.
Right. The soil sample, I think, should be done prior to that. And then that way, if there's any contaminants, say they had a fire and they had to put out a major lithium ion battery system and a lot of stuff leached into the soil, and then didn't do a soil sample after that, then there could be a lot of stuff left in the soil before, when they decommission.
I believe some of that was in the decommission. So I was trying to look up, but okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. We'll leave it in there then. Okay.
I
Yeah,
don't
the bond agreement, I think, needs to be more identified, that it should be 125% of the decommissioning. And the decommissioning agreement should also have the criteria in how they're gonna decommission it. And that bond can't be touched at any time. It has to
Okay.
be registered in the county's name.
Yep, that's what I've talked to about it, and they were. Is that what they wanted for the solar? Right, that
Yep.
same setup.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I tried to.
Right,
Same thing as a solar for the money wise for the bonds and everything.
right,
It will be the same for this.
right.
It does.
So, I mean, there's certain items in this that need to be different line item,
Mhm.
not necessarily a different line item, but be put in like a different, like your complete decommissioning plan. That needs to be identified in your decommissioning plan, I think, the bond agreement does.
Okay. Separate from the financial agreement?
Well, see, you've got it under key issues considered.
Okay. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep. Okay. Yeah, it's broken down more in the decommissioning plan and then in
Right.
the financial
Right.
agreement plan.
So I don't know, I guess that could be left in there because that is a key issue, the bond
Mhm.
agreement. And then you could refer to, go into that, line item 13. And if you got a decommissioning plan in here, then, you need to put whatever it is, say it's 2410 or something, refer to 2410.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, that we're gonna bring it back up later, so refer to that. Okay.
The emergency service and training requirements, again, that needs to be under, it needs to be, go into more specifics on what that they are liable for training our EMS and our fire for emergency service and training them for, say, a lithium ion fire or something like that,
So
and
that
at their expense.
that would be more in the cup because that's specialized to each individual one. So if they use lithium ion in one, they're not going to use it. They may not use it in another one. So if we specify too much, then we're we're not covering everything. So that's why we're kind of making this one a little bit generic in that sense that when a company comes in and they use this, then the cup will address the chemicals in this one.
No, I'm talking about training our fire people
Mm-hmm.
how to put the fire out in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's saying
Yeah,
that
that's
The
it's gonna
company,
be handled in the cup with what
Yep.
kind of batteries it's gonna be.
yep,
yeah, but at their expense.
yep, yes, that will
They're
be.
paying our firefighters to go there and train.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that will be put.
But I mean,
for the
it's not, okay,
And you don't want to put that in here
yeah. Why wouldn't you
because
want to put that in this?
because it feels like you'd be too specifying this so you're just wanting a generic wordage that the company will train responders per chemicals in the being used.
Even say chemicals, just in how to
Handle any fire
any fire situation.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it
you're
just
not limiting it to any chemical, you just,
Yeah.
they're training them to
okay.
handle whatever fire situation.
That wordage can be in there. It just has to be very generic so that we can't specify. So that way we're not kind of digging ourselves a hole.
But we don't know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. That's why when we have the cup, we know exactly what it is, and then we can address that sort of thing. Is my understanding of how we use the cup, the permit.
But for overall in here, we can just say,
But,
they train them at their expense. for
but
whatever.
they don't get the
Okay.
cup until they've trained the people.
Right. That's so the approval of the cup will be on these conditions, and that will be one of the conditions in the cup.
Okay.
That we don't approve it until they
I
are
just
going
don't
to
want to
meet
miss
these
something.
requirements.
I just don't want to,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to turn around and then we issue a CUP and it gets skipped over.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
not in there.
Okay.
Because if it's not in this, and it's not written down,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you gonna have another paper that says conditions that you're gonna
Yes.
regulate other than what we are?
Mm-hmm. That just like the rock quarry that we just passed, all those extra things that we had, those were just for that rock quarry, like the extended setbacks, the road study, some of the other things that were in there. I don't remember exactly, but that was directly for that cup. That the other rock quarries don't have those regulations, that we put those just on that one. But we can, yeah, if we want to put a generic,
Yeah, can't we just get somewhere in the middle?
yep, yeah,
Something a little more specific and not too
Yep.
generic.
yes. Just
Something
what were you
like
saying?
emergency services and training requirements shall be paid by requesting company or something like that.
Yeah, that way you don't narrow it down to any specific chemical or
Yeah, okay.
battery type.
Yeah. I'll
Can we
have
go,
that in
can
there.
we go back for a second?
Yep.
24-401.
Okay.
I'd like to have something in there that the applicant must demonstrate that the proposal aligns with the county comprehensive plan, specifically goals to preserve the natural beauty and open spaces.
Okay.
And then we can get down into the details there, but I think it'd be a good idea to start it off with, we're going to require them to conform with the comprehensive plan, specifically the natural
To the, okay.
natural beauty and open spaces. I could work on it.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll get back.
I wonder how many of these containers get per acre? How many can be put on 1 acre?
Good question.
Jennifer, I was wondering about the spot in Texas. How many shipping containers they have there and how big it is? Okay. Okay. Just to kind of give me an idea on how I could break it down number wise.
Take the square footage of an acre, square footage of a container.
Yeah, but I think.
Well, they have to have
There is a limitation to how close they can put the containers. I think it's,
Per acre.
I thought I read somewhere that each one of these storage systems had to be 25 feet apart.
It's gonna depend on your technology, what battery is being used, because each manufacturer is gonna have their own.
Right.
safety.
I thought that what I read somewhere, and I don't quote me on this, but it was for access of fire and EMS, they had to be so far apart. And I thought it was 25 feet, but I haven't seen that in this.
I read that someplace.
You read it someplace too?
Yeah. A minimum of 25 feet, something.
But the container is 8 foot. Well, you'd have to plot that out. Because we're gonna get into it in a minute, because none of the best sites cannot exceed 20 acres. So that's the reason I was asking how many containers per acre.
So if that goes to the manufacturer specifications, that's where we would put it in the cup. So if they're using this system, then it has to be per manufacturer has to be this. Then we could put it in the cup that they do meet manufacturer specifications.
Right.
On
Well, that's
spacing.
got to go back to the electrical codes and everything else.
Mhm.
That's at the beginning of where all your codes and everything are at. They've got to follow that standard. I was just trying to think of how many megawatt a 20-acre plot.
Well, just a quick Google thing says, a 1 megawatt BESS system in its least dense configuration takes up approximately half an acre.
Say that again.
This thing says a 1 MW BESS system in its
That's megawatt.
least dense configuration takes up approximately half an acre of land. But this is BESS systems can generally produce between 40 to 50 megawatt hours per acre. A common rule of thumb for utility scale battery storage suggests roughly 600 to 1,000 square feet per megawatt hour of capacity, including space for the battery itself, transformers, and auxiliary equipment. While 50 to 100 megawatt projects might require 2 to 6 acres.
2 to 6 acres.
Yeah, for 50 to 150 megawatt projects.
Wow. That's a lot of megawatts.
This says 4,000, 4 megawatt hour battery storage system might only require 4,000 square feet, which is about 1/10 of an acre. But that's all Google AI, so take it for what it's worth.
Did you see anything else today, or any of you guys in the 24.4? 24.401 that needs to be addressed?
I mean, does that mean we're jumping to 24.5?
Dave,
Yep,
are we ready to go to 24.5?
I think so. If nobody's got anything else.
Is there a specific area we're talking about, or do we need to have the historical trail part in there?
It's just so that way in the future, if they want to put one, I think we have one or two, one out the road there,
Pine Creek.
the Mine Creek, and then we have another one.
Potawatomi one over by.
Yep. So if, I think because those are here is why we have them.
Okay.
So what are you saying in F there? A single site area not to exceed 20 acres? Adjacent per substation? What are we trying to say there? Is there a 20 acre limit on these? And
Yeah.
what's the substation have to do with it?
Is that all of them will have to be close to like an actual big substation. So I think that just addresses that they are near, that they're going to be near a substation. And so like they'll be close to an Evergy substation, but that won't be part of the battery energy storage system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they could build a new substation, correct?
If they pulled out another permit, if they were to do, they could, if they did their own permit for a substation.
Fahrenheit or
Mhm.
Evergy could build a new substation.
Yes, there could be another substation built. Yes, but it won't be part of this.
To accommodate this.
Hmm. But it won't be tied into their 20 acres. Is kind of what we're referring to.
So wherever they're wanting to put these this close to a substation somewhere.
Yeah, so these, like a big one, a tier 3, will be close to a power plant.
Okay.
Close to a power plant or a substation?
Be close, well, to a power plant that will be able, because they're going to put power, they want to put power back onto the grid.
Right.
So the closer they are to a power plant, the more branches they can feed. So the farther away they are, then they won't be able to feed as many branches. It's just from a marketing standpoint of it. A tier 2 probably is going to be not so close, is from what I could imagine.
So do we need to say that then? Limit it to 20 acres, do we need to say it's gotta be adjacent to? Because
It doesn't, I don't think if we said that, we would need to put a distance in there. So that way we actually have a specification, because it'd be difficult for a company to just come in and buy the land near a substation if a different party already owns it, is what I'm saying. That if we have a big substation here, the people next to it, like that surround it, already own it. So if a company wanted to come in and put one of these systems here, they would have to purchase it from one of these, the surrounding property, and that'd be difficult.
Why they did it on all the wind turbines? They built substations on every one of them. When they put the wind turbines in, they built huge substations.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, like I said, there will be a substation there, but it's not going to be a big one. They will have their own little one. It's not going to be like what you would see. I don't know. I don't have any examples. I mean, there wouldn't. Like-
1100 nickel or 1150. How big of that?
Do you know how big of a substation they build? As just size, like you'd have probably just 4 tower, or would it be bigger than that? Yeah. Yes, please.
Sure, just take the mic with her. She'd have to get up, yeah.
So again, typically what happens is that we will buy the substation parcel, and that's usually 10 to 20 acres. But the actual footprint of the substation is much smaller than that. It will be 2 to 5 acres or something like that. But it will depend on how big of a tier 3 project that you're talking about too. Something on the smaller side obviously isn't going to need that big of a substation. Something on the larger side is going to need a bigger substation.
So the 20 acres would include a substation.
I think if you include a substation in that 20 acres, it will severely limit the size of a tier 3 project. Because you're going to have setbacks. The substation will be fenced separately because it will be connected, right? And so it will have to allow access separately to an off-taker or something like that.
So what we're trying to say now is we're trying to limit the size to 20 acres, right?
For the system, yes, for the best system, to not include substation.
Okay. So
So we're talking 40 acres now. We're talking 20 acres for the best system and 20 acres for the substation.
The parcel itself could be that large. The substation footprint would be much smaller.
Right. With it being, the substation being smaller, but you still got the 20 acres to put the substation on, and then the best containers would be on another 20 acres, which would give it enough for that transformer station.
Right. Yeah, it could. Yeah. But the size of the parcels too are going to have to be factored in with the setbacks that you're talking about.
Right. So the single best site area not to exceed 20 acres.
period. I mean, we're not dealing with,
Right.
we're not dealing with substations here.
Does not include the substation. The substation's that's a whole different deal there.
What are you thinking, Ben?
There's a lot to this. There's a lot.
Yeah, my
It goes
next
into this.
question is the regulations for substations. If we're to put a new substation, somebody's put a new substation in now, we've got regulations to cover that. right?
I think so, but I don't think we can stop anybody from putting the substation in.
Yeah. So why are we addressing substations here? Is my point. It shouldn't be. It's a separate.
Right.
I think it's from where I pulled it from. I'm pretty sure that it was just saying that it would be near a substation, as if I believe that's where.
I think all we need to say is not to exceed
Okay.
a certain amount of acres.
Okay, I could do that.
20 sounds like the number.
Well, what's the acres gonna be?
Well, 20 acres for the
The best?
actual containers.
Yeah.
Right. The substation
I think that's a realistic.
ain't got nothing to do with that.
Nope, I agree.
Okay. So adjacent per substation goes away.
Okay.
It took 20 minutes for 3 words.
Quit it. What is the drip line?
The drip line from tree, it's how far the tree.
Okay, oh, I got you, I got you. Protected stand of mature trees, 200 feet from historical.
A 503E, would that not go in the same as the fire training?
What was it? Which one?
503, do
Fee.
a wildfire mitigation plan, would that not encapsulated in the fire training program at the beginning?
Yeah. Well, maybe, maybe not. I think probably what they're trying to say there is keep your grass cut down so you don't have a fire that gets into your facility. But I think it could be, like you say, it could be included in that training. I think our local guys are trained in wildfires. I believe, ain't they? Our local guys are trained in wildfires, ain't they? Wild grass fires. When you get to the 506, the 24506 on the soils, I really believe that before any soil can be moved or anything, a complete soil sample of the entire land needs to be done before any soil is touched on the property that from the lease property or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
How many samples do you want to take?
Yeah, that's a good
I
point.
would do it.
5 per acre?
Yeah,
I was gonna say, how many do you take when you drill?
Yeah. That's what they do when they soil sample a field, right? 5 per acre?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. So something needs to be put in there that soil samples, 5 samples per acre will be taken on the entire facility prior to any dirt removal, any topsoil removal.
Is there a standard you can refer to on that as far as how you take those samples?
Don't know. Something probably ought to dig into. Like test it for what chemicals are in it.
If 5 per acre, you don't want to take all 5 in one spot.
Yeah, and that also needs to be done at the expense of whoever's got the lease.
Expense of the applicant.
The applicant.
Just says zigzag or random pattern.
What was that, Ben?
It just says a zigzag or random pattern. Yeah, I guess every company will probably have its own way of doing it.
You think there'd be a standard out there somewhere?
Yeah,
Some kind of grid.
yeah, that's what I saw a grid, but it was per that company had a certain grid. So, uh, but yeah, I'll have 5 per acre for each acre.
What's the 14506? Topsoil shall not be removed from the site except as required by Kansas. Then you got the Department of Health and Environment. Should there been a C and D in there, or is that? See where you got B, C, D?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be all one.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't think the C and the D should have been there. It was
Yeah,
all
scratch.
one paragraph.
right.
Yep, I see it.
See that?
Yep. In the Department of Health and Environment, and other. Yep.
You know, that soil sample also would protect the people that were getting ready to build a facility, especially if the soil already had contaminants in it. It would be protecting them too.
Right. besides the samples, Hal, are you
Yeah.
comfortable with everything else? 24,506.
Turn it upside down. No. I think I don't see anything else. Anybody else?
So we move on to fencing and screening then?
No, yeah. The only,
I've jumped ahead a bit, but I definitely want to address if LED lights are used, the color temperature shall be no more than 3,000 Kelvin.
Yep.
That's 4,900 degrees Fahrenheit.
how'd you know that?
Not just off the top of your head?
I Googled it because I knew Kelvin.
Where are you seeing that?
It's on F 2424508 F.
Oh, you're ahead. You're
I
ahead
skipped
of
a
me.
little bit ahead. Yeah. But I knew 3,000 Kelvin is. Yeah.
So, real quick, so that light bulb right there, the one that's kind of orangey, that will be at 3,000 Kelvin. That one, yeah, that's more blue. Kind of, I think that's the brightest light bulb in this room. That second one from the back, the bright one, that would be a 5,000 Kelvin. Yes, it refers to how bright of a light it is. How orange it is will be the lower number. A higher number will be the brightness. So closer to daylight will be your higher number. And so with that, what I've seen a lot of different codes, they want sort of a low light, so that way it doesn't give off the light pollution.
Yeah.
Is that they want kind of a lower, subtle light. And all of it will be facing downward, so that way it's not up, because if there's an angle to it, then it gives off more light pollution.
Yeah, and it can go off to the neighbors.
So what's the daylight Kelvin?
A daylight will be like 5,000.
5,000. So
Yes.
this is less than that.
Yes, that it will be more of an orange lighting. Where'd it go? I just had it. Soil lighting.
I just never heard of a light that's
508.
Kelvin.
That's what they do.
It's 508F. If LED lights are used, the color temperature shall be no more than 3,000 K, the Kelvin, and that's the Kelvin rating. But yeah, normally, so when you go buy a light bulb, that's one of the things you look at. And also, so your wattage is what will be your heat. So the higher the watts, the more powerful the light is, and then that will be how hot it will get.
So what if they don't use LED? We still
It's not specified. I don't know if you can buy lights like this anymore. Well, yeah, I guess you can. It would just
So should we specify that
that no matter that
they
all
require LED?
you can't. I mean, it wouldn't.
That way we can control it.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, I don't. Yeah.
I think we jumped ahead quite a ways,
We
didn't
did. You got, that's a signal we probably, I'm good.
Are we gonna close
I'm
this at
getting
9?
right in. So I'm thinking 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then I think that if we could and help us provide, go over this stuff in the meantime and provide feedback to Ben so he can be ready for us. Probably the way to do that is just individual emails, right?
Yes, to do it, that's the way it has to be done. Is just email me directly, and I will.
You could line out maybe suggestions for the next meeting. We could maybe get through it a little quicker.
I went through a lot of this. Can we jump ahead to a few things real quick that I've already,
Sure.
okay, jump jump ahead to 24507 signage. The spacing of the sign, I believe, should be 100 feet apart instead of 500 feet apart. That's just my personal opinion.
So,
And that would be on the fencing all the way around the project.
so you're saying 100 feet?
Yeah.
That's pretty close together.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know how many people would be looking down the fence.
It's
Both
more of a
ways.
safety thing.
It's more, I would think, it's not gonna hurt
What
anything.
about a visual thing?
It would be,
What more?
Well, it depends on what size the sign is too. And I didn't see anything in here that it said what size the sign needed to be. I don't know if it's a placard this big or if it's a placard this big.
Yeah, right.
You know, if it's a placard this big, yeah, every 500 feet, but if it's a placard like this, so either we change that or we give a signage size that we're gonna require.
Well, doesn't A kind of address that? It says, that, you know, the placard will be appropriate size.
Yeah, but what is appropriate?
Depends on how far you are. I mean, you just described it. This big and they need to be closer together. If it's
Right,
this big, it can be 500 feet apart.
okay. That suits me, but I think
I mean,
what somebody thinks is appropriate and the other person thinks is appropriate might be different.
well, under appropriate, let's put band in there.
yeah, I think that's,
Just change it from minimum to maximum. 500 feet apart.
yeah, I think, yeah, that's just something that we'd have to go
That way you can
look
have
at.
it anywhere in between. If you just put the maximum 500 feet apart, you can have anywhere in between.
Right,
That's
that works for me.
Instead of minimum 500 feet apart,
Right.
change it
Okay.
to maximum 500 feet apart.
That works. 'Cause I don't
Let's
think they'll
change
do it.
minimum to maximum,
Yep.
okay?
What else you got happening?
24509. B, the decimals, the
Yeah.
DBA, I think should be 40,
Because
that's what we done on the wind and the solar, or the 40 DBA. That's what we asked for. If we ask for anything else, then we're shooting ourselves in the foot.
So you're saying 40 decibels,
when
beyond 100 feet?
these are in use, they're putting electricity back onto the grid. Does the noise level go up? Do you know what it goes up to? Like on average?
Sound isn't, I mean, it's gonna depend on what the temperature is, and how much humidity,
Right.
Okay.
how much dust is in the air, and what the landscape looks
Mhm.
like.
Yeah.
What Hal
I
had for
think
breakfast?
it's 40 dBA from the property, from a non-participating or non-participant at their property line.
That it's not,
When you've already got a 500-foot setback from property line.
I think the 500 setback's gonna be challenging as well. But setbacks. So I can give you an example of a project that I'm working on that is less than 200 feet from the state highway. And at the state highway, the sound level is going to be close to 50. But again, the terrain is like this.
Right,
There's no
right.
vegetation,
Sound echoes,
there's sound echoes.
right?
Yep.
And, you know, if you're somebody that's 1,000 feet from it, and my guess is these are gonna be running quite a little bit. That's what I'm, you know, we've got to look at the health, safety, and welfare of all the people in the county too. So, I mean, that's what that's what we did on the solar and the wind. I can't find it right now. Got it somewhere.
So, an example of 60 dBA is a running dishwasher.
A what?
Running dishwasher.
Of what?
A 60
Example,
Yeah.
60 dBA.
At 60 dBA, sounds like a running dishwasher. So
My
if somebody,
dishwasher don't- my dishwasher don't sound like that. You can't even hear mine run.
You can't hear mine either, but
that's just what this was. The first comparison that it was
She starts breathing.
it says when it gets up to 85 dBA, that's a prolonged exposure to 85 can be harmful. So that's why it was set at 60 for this, was because it's gonna hum. But you're gonna hear it hum, but it's not gonna be.
Yeah, but if you're sitting on your front porch.
If you're
you
sitting on the front porch and you're 1,000 feet from it,
You're not gonna hear it.
not at 40 dBA, you're not.
But you think you will at 60?
Yes. It'd be like hearing a tractor running in the background over there for, yeah.
I really want to test this theory. I want to test this theory.
All right, let's work on that.
All right.
Let's table that and work on it. What else you got, Al?
Oh, it's past our time. 24, 5, 10. What did I have? Question department. Oh, the electrical interconnection. That's what it was. There's nothing in here stating that the applicant has a interconnection agreement with a power provider. And that was part of the deal, that they had to have an agreement before they built the facility with a say they have to have an agreement with Evergy before that they have some place to go with this electricity or to pull from this electricity. You have to have an interconnection agreement or a lease or whatever.
Is that a roadblock? How does that usually work?
So an interconnection agreement would be, just that you have permission to pull off of the line or to put back on the line, whoever the partner is.
Is that generally done before you?
They would almost have to have that
Yeah.
before they would build a facility. If they didn't have that agreement, I don't think they would build a facility.
Well, that could change from time to time.
Right.
I wouldn't know why we would be concerned about that anyway.
Oh, the power purchase agreement and interconnection agreement. The
Yeah.
power purchase agreement, the PPA,
Right.
and interconnection agreement, IA, must be provided, approved, and accepted before it begin. Before to begin, I guess what it says. The cut does not author.
PPA and two totally separate things.
Okay.
To be clear on that. And there are battery storage systems that are selling wholesale, so they do not have a PPA.
So it could read, if applicable, if need be, to provide it to the planning and zoning director.
Right. It has to be,
Yeah.
yeah, given to you.
Okay.
Prior to you, prior to the CUP. I've got more, but I got another page and a half.
It's
All right.
quit.
Motion to adjourn,
Move to adjourn the meeting.
second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn.